Bore da! Well, I'm out and about. Managed to squeeze a couple of hours free this morning, Wednesday morning, and it's going to be probably the nicest day of the week. I think there's a bit of rain Thursday, Friday and Saturday, so squeezed a few hours this morning and I'm heading back to the Clwydians. Just parked up in Llandyrnog, heading out to the Clwydians. So yeah, it's good to be back out. Cracking day for a walk and a natter. Heading towards Llanginhafel, Hendra Ruiz and Llanginhafel, and up over the top, cut through, and then there's a long route and a short route, and I think I'll do the short route because I haven't got that much time, to be honest. But anyway, I'll explain a bit about that along the way. Okay, come to the crossroads here, turn right, and interesting signpost there, Dimbych, Denby. It's got Llandyrnog, which is back that way, and Llangwyfan, which is up that way, and there would normally be a sign there. You can just see a little bit of it, but I don't know what's happened to it. It would say Llanginhafel and Hendra Ruiz, but it's not there. What's it say on that? On that bench, that's new since I was here last. There's a bench there, but should be a sign there pointing that way. Hendra Ruiz and Llanginhafel. I don't know what's happened to it. Anyway, that's the way I'm going. So yeah, the route I'm taking along this road section to Llanginhafel, and then cut up very steep hill, which I'll talk about. Going back many years now. It was in the middle of winter, and I'll explain about that. There's Moel. Yeah, it cuts up through between Moel and Moel. So keep going. Squirrel not very happy with me. Not a happy squirrel. So, roughly about halfway between Llandyrnog and Llanginhafel. Nice posh gate there. And yes, there's dogs loose in garden. So yeah, it's one or two cars on this road, but as I say, about halfway now between Llandyrnog and Llanginhafel. A bit more of the Clwydians are coming to view. I roughly join it about there. Llanginhafel up through the valley on the tops and all the way across. Come to Moel Coed, and with Moel in front of you, and then you drop down, and as I said, there is a longer route. There's Moel there. I join it somewhere here and walk all the way across, and like I say, you drop down. But there is a longer route which I'll explain a bit later, but I won't be doing that today. I'll be doing the shorter route. So this is the turn off for Hendra Ruiz, and the sign's there. I don't know what happened to that other sign. I tell you, metal sign is missing. So I'll show you now roughly, give you an idea. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if it's silhouetted. Hendra Ruiz, half a mile. That's where I've just come from now, Llandyrnog. And Llanginhafel, half a mile. Pentrefellin. But Llandyrnog I parked up, so it's 1.5 miles, so it's 2 mile to Llanginhafel. So half a mile to go. I'm going to drop down just past the pub, around the corner, and then there's a pretty steep climb, which going back a few years now. I've done these walks a million and one times, I know this place like the back of my hand, but I'll talk about, which I have talked before, but like to my new subscribers and viewers, and if you're new to the channel or if you haven't watched my walking videos, I'll tell a little anecdote about that hill. Had some fun in the middle of winter, and it was a harsh winter as well. Anyway, half a mile to go. Llangenhavel. Bit of a better view, like I say. I joined the Clwydians roughly somewhere there, and then climb up and over across the tops, and Moel is over in that direction. It's disappeared from view. So yeah, and as I said, there is a longer route, but I'll talk about that a bit later. Not far off from Llangenhavel now, and I just drop down and turn off past the stocks, if they're still there. The old stocks. It's like the stocks in Denby, next to the cross in the top of Vale Street. And there's actually a pair of stocks here too, like I say, if they're still there. So, not far off now, just round that corner. Just up a bit of a climb on Llangenhavel. So when I'm doing the Clwydians, I always park in Llandurnog, base camp, that's Llandurnog. And then from there there's loads of walks you can do, the Kilford bypass, Penacloddiau, Llangwyfan Forest, Coed, Llangwyfan, Moel, Moel Famau. It's like circular routes. You start from Llandurnog and you end in Llandurnog. So that's what I always do, park up in base camp, just Llandurnog. Anyway, you can see the buildings and stuff now just up here. And that's Llangenhavel. I just drop down, then I'll be turning off then. Up the climb. That's when I'll be starting to gain a lot of height. So, Llangenhavel, that's the pub in front of me there. I'll be turning right and then left. And then, as I say, gaining a lot of height. Alright, comes to the crossroads, and I'll be turning left. By the stocks, if they're still here. We'll find out in a minute. Are they still here? Dee 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 dee. Oh, yeah, they are. There you go. It's the stocks. So I'll be heading up that way there, and up that way. And that's where I'll be gaining a lot of height. Believe you me. So as you can see there is the Welsh lessons. So you get Welsh lessons, Eglwys, which is church. You get Welsh lessons in my walks, Eglwys, church. Not quite so steep as the minute, but a few hundred yards, and then it will be very, very steep. Oh, big oil tanker. That was a tight squeeze. Had to get well in the side for that one. The van was coming down, it wasn't too bad, but that tanker you got to get right in the hedge. There ain't much room. So there's the cemetery. Right, onwards and upwards. Just round that corner there. Right, there's a sign there which gives you a bit of a clue. A bit overgrown, but unsuitable for motor vehicles. Hopefully you can make that out. You'll see why in a minute. Right, it may not look as steep on camera, but take it from me, it is. Pace yourself, Evans, pace yourself. Wow, that's steep. But it's not so humid. On Saturday when I was doing the Moel the circular. Wow, I've never known it so humid. A bit more air today, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Just pace yourself. So yeah, this is the bit I was doing that winter, and it's normally wet. It all runs down from the sides, side verges and stuff. Whew. Things I do for a walk. Yeah, and it had frozen solid. And normally this section from the bottom there up to the cottages, and it levels off slightly. Or the turn off to, if you're heading to Moel, which I'll show you in a minute. Probably takes, what, 5-10 minutes, something like that. And that day, it had frozen solid. I'll tell you, it took me probably about an hour and a half to get up here. I had to cling onto the sides, and you know, you were one step forward and then you'd slide back. That is steep. It was a nightmare. I didn't think I was going to make it. It was that bad. Like I say, about an hour and a half it took. And then, like I say, wet. It levels off slightly, but yeah, I always remember that. I will never forget that. I thought, shall I give up and just head back down? It was that bad. Inch by inch, just slowly. There's no way you'd dry up or get anything up it. It was like a sheet of ice, probably about a couple of inches thick. It was absolute horrendous. But just around this corner here, if I was heading towards doing the Moel route, then I turn off. See, just pace yourself and you can get up it. So yeah, anyway, I'll show you I'll actually turn off and get some views. I got my Sony compact with me, and it's got a panoramic feature. You know, you press the shutter and then you just move it across. It takes panoramic shots and stuff, which I will include them at the end of this video. I took a couple of shots of the pub in Llangenhavel and the stocks and stuff. But I quite like doing the panoramic shots, especially on a day like today when you got a nice view. But as long as you pace yourself, you're alright. But I'll be turning off here, just about here. That's if I was heading on the Moel route. But I will eventually be going straight on. But I'll just turn off just to take a panoramic shot. So yeah, this is where I turn off if I was doing a Moel, and on that day, that winter, that's where I was heading. And the snow on the tops, you're walking on top of the snow, and every so often you just drop through it, and the snow, I'm 6'2", and the snow would come up to somewhere like that, and you have to climb back out, spread yourself, you know, to spread the weight, and then you'd be like that going, and then just drop through where the snow is a bit soft. But yeah, I'll just show you the view from here. This is, if you're going to do Moel route, then this is the way you'd go, and this is a very quiet route. You hardly meet anyone on this route. So yeah, I'll just show you, just up over this stile, I'll show you the views into the Vale of Clwyd. And yeah, I always remember that day. Absolute nightmare getting up there. Sheep are out today. There's a bench here too, you can have a bit of a rest, but as long as you pace yourself. As I say, that last Saturday, wow, that would be a slog. That, and normally the Moel, I'd be up that in probably about the same time, 5-10 minutes, where I was suffering, I will admit. I was suffering. So that's the way you'd go up to Moel, just follow the path all the way up. So yeah, there's a Denby, and hopefully, if I zoom in, I can't see with these shades in the sun. Hopefully, where are we? Hang on, let me get me. hopefully there in the centre there, you can see some buildings. That's what I've parked up. That is Llandurnog. So that's what I've parked up, so to give you an idea of how far I've walked. So that's base camp. So yeah, there's the view, Vale Clwyd. And sometimes on a day in the distance there you'd see Snowdonia Range and Orwyddfa. So yeah, so I'll show you that. Anyway, I'll be heading back that way. I'm heading up there, up that way up to the top there. So I'll take a panoramic shot from here, I think, which I will include at the end of the video. Oh, that was the little detour, so I'm back on the main route now. Still climbing, but it's not as steep. Alright, Moel Famau Country Park, area of outstanding natural beauty. And you can say that again. You're looking at me. Looking at you, looking at me. Sheep country. Well, there's a track all the way up to the main top of the path from Moel to Moel Famau, which heads all the way along there and up that way there. But I'll be doing the shorter version when I reach the stile at the top there. Wow, it's warm now. Not much of a breeze here. I'll explain the longer route when I get to the top there. Not too bad to here, to there. Bit of a climb up there, but it's not too bad. It's warm now. Slight breeze, but it's sheltered in this little valley. So wow, it's warm, but it's not as humid as the Saturday walk to Moel. God, I never experienced this so humid as that. Slight bit of air, but there's no breeze, nothing now. But it's not so humid. I'll be the first to admit I was suffering on that climb. Oh, sweating and eyes were stinging. Not so much out of breath and that, but you just, oh, it was terrible. Oh, a bit of a breeze there. Very welcome. Posts are doing here. They weren't here the last time I did this walk. She was going back, I can't remember now, I was going back some time. Did some time before I was up on the Clwydians, but these posts weren't here. I don't remember them anyway, but I don't know what's the point of them. You know, it's not like as if it's fenced off or anything, but I don't get it. Don't know why they're there. I'm sure they weren't there. And I'm pretty new that gate. I don't think that any of this was here. I don't remember it anyway. So yeah, but I don't see the point of them, to be honest. But probably about halfway up, something like that. It's gone still again now. Every so often you do. Oh, there's a nice breeze coming now. Every so often, oh, it's lovely. But then it'll go, then you start sweating then. But anyway, obviously, basically, just around there, and at the top of join the main path, which I'll probably meet a few walkers, although saying that on a Wednesday might be a bit quiet. Right, keep going and get to the tops there. I'll look back and get some shots of another panoramic view. I like doing them. And I'll include a few photos that I've took on this walk. I'll put them on the end of this video. Right, it's getting a bit steep now, but it's not too bad. There's a walker on the top path there. That's where I'll be joining, and I'll be heading the way he's going. So, not far off now from the main path. That's like I say, path like this you can not meet anyone, but the actual main path, as I call it, the Offa's Dyke path, you'll probably meet one or two walkers, but it's not far to go now. Bit of a breeze every so often. When then there's no breeze and no sun, it's actually quite cool, which is very welcome. Right, onwards and upwards, not far to go now till I join the top path. The only company you get on this path is sheep. So yeah, the sun breaking through. So not far off from the main Offa's Dyke path. Keep going. Right, just joining up with the Offa's Dyke path. Now more of these posts weren't here last time I was up here. I don't see the point of them. Why they've put them there, I don't get it. They got a fence there and a gate, all these posts, big gaps in them. I don't get it. Just don't see the point of that. Right, so this is the Offa's Dyke path. All that wasn't here either. They put a fence there and I don't get it. I don't see the point of it. So anyway, obviously, basically, if you go that way, you'll arrive at Moel. If you go that way, which I will be going, you arrive at Moel. And just to confirm it, Moel, that way, Moel, that way. What does it say? Oh, Famau, 1.5 miles. So I come 1.5 mile. And I did say, there's a longer walk. If I was going to do the longer walk, I'd go that way. You go for, I don't know, a couple of miles, and it joins a road, and then you come to a crossroads, turn left, you go for about 100 to 200 yards, and then there's a footpath sign on the left. You take that, and then you arrive at where I'm going to arrive now, at the bottom of Moel, but it's a long way around you. It adds probably about 3 miles to the walk, something like that, but I won't be doing that today. I'll be heading just direct this way. It's pretty straightforward now. And when I did that walk, I talked about it on my last, the Moel, where I did that walk, and the weather, it turned. I didn't pack any gloves, and I'm usually got them on my rucksack, usually comprehensive kit, you know, just for it's a low level walk. They call it the mountain range, but I wouldn't call it mountains. 2 walkers coming behind me now. Well, not behind me, but a few hundred yards away. But yeah, and I didn't pack any gloves, and the weather turned. It was windy, it was raining, and the temperature was icy cold. And as I say, I didn't have gloves. I was coming down, dropping down towards Moel car park. I could feel my hands going, and I lost the use of my hands. I just about made it to the car, to get the car open. I couldn't hold the key to put it in the ignition. I literally couldn't use my hands. And then got back home, and I put them under warm water, not hot water. And that didn't do anything. I think my body had shut the blood off to my hands. And then about 3 hours later, it started tingling and it came back to normal. So it just shows you the dangers. And you know, I'm an experienced walker, but I wasn't expecting the weather to change. It was absolutely atrocious. But yeah, no gloves. And that's what happened. I was hoping that I'd be able to use my hands again. Couldn't grip anything, couldn't move the fingers, nothing. It's just completely dead. I don't think there was any blood in my fingers, you know, in my hand. Like, it was pretty frightening actually, but like I say, about 3 hours later, slowly came back. But yeah, this is pretty straightforward now. Just follow the track all the way around and Moel, Lisa Coed, and then you get a nice view coming into view now actually, Moel Park and Moel Arthur and what have you, and then drop down and drop all the way down to Llandyrnog, which is, I'll zoom in, hopefully it's somewhere in the shot. I can't see what I'm filming because you can see some buildings and stuff. That's where I've parked up there. That's Llandyrnog. Right, here's looking back. Good old Moel Famau, Jubilee Tower. I've been there a few times, 1,000,001 times. But yeah, pretty shortish walk today. I don't know how long it's, a few miles. But as I say, if you want to do the long walk, you carry on across, straight across, and then you just follow the road, and then you come to a crossroads to the left, and then just go for about 200 yards, something like that, and you'll see a footpath sign, and then you just follow it. It's basically, it just goes all the way around, and then you arrive, and I'll show you a bit later on in this video, you arrive at the Moel Arthur car park. So, keep going. Oh, that lovely breeze on this, right on the tops now. Very welcome. Right, keep going. Ah, very welcome breeze. I remember I was doing an overnighter, and I don't know if you can hopefully just be up by the fence there, just make out a little stone wall by there, and that's where I bivvied. Stayed overnight, a bivvy sack. It's like a glorified bin bag. It was a Gore-Tex bag, and you put your sleeping bag in it. You put your sleeping mat on the deck, sleeping bag in the bag, the bivvy bag, and you climb in and you just zip yourself in. A lot of people can't use them because they find them too claustrophobic. I think they're great. I used to bivvy a lot in Snowdonia, places where on ledges, stone ledges, and on cliff edges, somewhere where you can't pitch a tent. So you just get the bag out, get in the bag, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, and that's where I was there. And then the next morning, I didn't know, but it snowed overnight, and it was heavy snow as well. And like I say, you don't know, there's the Jubilee Tower, by the way, silhouetted. Yeah, and I didn't know, so I thought, oh, see what it's doing, what's the weather's like and that. So I undid the zip, I opened the bag, and poof, a pile of snow fell in. Never woken up so quick. Yeah, so I always remember that. Behind that wall I was there, on that top there, just behind the wall. So yeah, that was a wake-up call. No idea that it snowed. I was buried in snow, it was about 3 feet deep. And I was actually buried in the snow, and I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, keep going. Moel Arthur will come into view as I just get over there. That little steep bit there, and I drop down there. It's the first walkers that I've passed on this whole walk, really. One or two dog walkers down the bottom there, but nothing on this Offa Dyke path. Bit of a breeze now, so I'll be dropping down in a minute. Right, dropping down now. So the Moel Arthur car park, down the bottom there. There's Moel Arthur, which I did on Saturday, That very humid Saturday. Whew. Right, dropping down now. And then I'll join the road, and then it's downhill all the way then. Back to Llandudnog. Just past the couple behind me there going up. They were suffering. Although there's a bit of a breeze though, it's quite nice. I thought it would be a bit sheltered down here, but it's not. So yeah, dropping down. Right, just at the car park now. I join the road and I head down that way. I was talking earlier on, if you want to take the longer route, you go all the long way round. It just puts about, I don't know, a few miles onto it. But that's where you come down. Hopefully, there, that path there. Come down there, and that's where my hands started going. But that's where you come down, and then you just rejoin the car park here. And then you just do whatever you want. You can either go over Moel or head down the way I'm going. If you've parked up in Llandudnog, like so. Anyway, that's where you come down. Them two are going up there. Huh, they were suffering. So yeah, got a few miles to go now down to back to the car, Llandudnog. Just talking about a breeze, wasn't I? There's no breeze now. But at least it's downhill all the way now. About 3 miles, something like that, I don't know, but at least it's downhill all the way. No more climbing. Yeah, it's good to be out. Good to be back on the hills. Plenty of room. I saw that last time I was here on Saturday. More or less the same spot, doing this hunting. Fair dues, I couldn't do that. Could walk up here, but not on a bike. It's quite a slog. This Llandudnog. That's where I've parked up today, so not long to go. Not long to go now, a couple of miles, something like that. Downhill though, downhill all the way. Right, back at the crossroads. Camera, record equals cars. So, right, yeah, back at the crossroads, and there's cars coming from all over the shop. So I've got half a mile to go down that way, and then I'll be back at the car. So, these cars, I tell you, back to civilization. So yeah, half a mile down that way and I'm back at the car. Great to be back out on the hills again. Really enjoyed my little hike out today. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on my walk. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again.